You know you've arrived when you not only host, I think it was the Academy of Country Music Awards, but also win Entertainer of the Year at the same telecast. So you're like, congratulations, Lainey Wilson. Thank you, Lainey Wilson.
All right, y'all. Week 1 of New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival is in the books, and there's no better voice to break it all down than someone who's been covering the New Orleans music scene for years with the Times-Picayune and the Advocate. Sponsored by New Orleans and Company, joining us now on 5 Minutes With to recap Weekend 1, look ahead to Weekend 2, and talk Fest After Dark. Keith Spera.
Hey, Mark.
It's good to see you.
Likewise.
It's like we're simpatico.
We've been in this position before, just opposite.
Reversed, that's
just
right.
Reversed, yes.
It's great to have you.
Glad to be here.
All right, you've been out there all weekend. What stood out to you most this past weekend?
2 things. The first was Ray on opening Thursday. British singer-songwriter. I'd never seen her before. She headlined the Gentilly stage. Totally blown away. She had a big band, 7 horns, 4 strings. She's in a green evening gown. But her personality was just so effervescent and so fun. She clearly was enjoying herself, loved being there, knew where she was, knew the history. But the band was like pinpoint. They're all in tuxedos with white sneakers.
Wow.
So they look great. All her techs were also dressed up as well. And so the whole presentation was great. A couple got engaged in the crowd during her show. She saw it. She almost started crying. And then she said, okay, when we play Where Is My Husband, we're going to bring you guys up on stage. And she did. When she got to that later in the set, this couple came out of the audience, sat on the stage. She sang Where Is My Husband to the newly engaged couple. That was great. And then it was Jon Batiste weekend. I mean, Thursday, he did an interview on the Allison Modern Music Heritage stage, which was very funny and charming, good fun. Friday, his big show at the festival stage, which was like the span of New Orleans music, from hip-hop to Mardi Gras Indians to piano, all kinds of crazy stuff. But then Sunday night, he comes out in the blues tent on a set that has been, stage that has been made to look like a swamp camp with like women stirring pots of food and cattails and ferns and Spanish moss and all this kind of stuff. He comes out costumed as an old man with a white beard, hair, hunched over, walking overalls, and plays this like really interesting and different kind of set.
Yeah, and nobody recognized him initially.
I think a lot of people were confused initially. It was like, who's the old guy? Where's Jon Batiste? But then it became apparent that this was him just in this character. And then midway through, he left, came back out with a pompadour, and did like a 50s rock and roll thing. So he was doing like Chuck Berry songs on the piano and Fats Domino songs on the piano. So it was clearly Jon like having fun and exercising another element of his creativity.
Yeah, you captured it so well in your story in the Times-Picayune at NOLA.com. The essence of Jazz Fest really all coming together at that one point in that stage, because it was a little bit of the richness that you see, the talent that you see, and he captured the audience so well.
Yeah, and he's a homegrown guy. I mean, product of St. Aug and Noka. So for a local guy to be in that position to headline the big stage on a weekend, and then B, come back and do this totally creative and unusual thing in the blues tent another night. I mean, it's really neat to see how his creativity is just expressing itself in all these ways.
And you had Rod Stewart, the whole Marcia Ball.
Oh my gosh, the Marcia Ball tribute. Marcia Ball, she has ALS. She's been playing at the festival for many, many years, playing in New Orleans forever. So she can no longer speak. And is retired from performing. So her band and a bunch of special guests, including John Cleary, were going to play her songs in the blues tent. She was there watching from the side of the stage, and at one point surprised everyone by getting up and taking a seat at the keyboard and playing one of the songs. And there were a lot of tears, I think, at that moment, because you could see she was really, working hard to do it. But she did it, and then her husband helped her stand up afterward, and she got her cane and she walked off the side of the stage. But it was heavy. It was an emotional moment. It was good.
So what are you thinking about for this weekend? What are you excited about?
Thursday is always a great day because the crowds are light, and you don't have the kind of crush of people looking to see the big star. So you've got Widespread Panic, the jam band out there. Longest set of the entire festival, 2.5 hours, which I think amounts to about 3 songs for those guys because they like to improvise a whole lot, But also
they're loyal fans for that. They're loyal fans.
I mean, they've been at the festival 10 or 12 times at this point, so they're a favorite, and they always play that second Thursday. That's kind of their slot now. But also on Thursday, you've got Judith Owen, who I just love. I mean, she does this kind of big band thing, but also a jazz thing. She just put out a record.
Mixes some humor in there as well.
She has that Welsh wit, where it can be very wicked, but a lot of fun. So yes, a lot of her personality comes out on stage. John Papagro, who I think is a very underrated New Orleans piano player, he's going to be doing his show out there on Thursday as well. And I think he's a lot of fun, and he's like the real New Orleans deal. Plays a lot of organ as well as piano. He's going to be in the Blues Tent Thursday afternoon.
Good. Friday, I hear Lainey Wilson will be there.
Lainey Wilson, from tiny town in Louisiana, and now is like, one of the biggest stars in country music. I mean, you've arrived when you not only host, I think it was the Academy of Country Music Awards, but also win Entertainer of the Year at the same telecast. So you're like, congratulations, Lainey Wilson. Thank you, Lainey Wilson. So she'll be out there. Jazz Fest always has the one big country star. And this year, it just happens to be a homegrown talent.
I know a lot of people going out there Saturday for the Eagles.
Little up-and-coming rock and roll band from California.
Kind of making it big. I heard they were big time in the Sphere.
Right, they just played the Sphere. Stevie Nicks on this past Saturday had the biggest crowd of the festival by far so far. Eagles will probably be up there as well. Don Henley's the only original guy left, but Joe Walsh has been there a long time. Timothy B. Schmidt's been there a long time. Vince Gill is also there filling in for the late Glenn Frey. So last couple times I've seen the Eagles. Fantastic, yeah. So,
and traditionally Sunday closes with some big names as well.
You got John Trombone Shorty.
Shorty, yeah.
Traditional slot closing Sunday. Right before him, Teddy Swims, who in the grand scheme of things is a bigger star than Shorty nationally, but Jazz Fest likes to have the local act as the final act on that final Sunday. But also a couple small things on Sunday. The Rhythm Emporium, which is a little tent on the infield. They've got a show with three of the top country music songwriters, including Jim McCormick, who's from New Orleans originally, but a guy named Craig Wiseman, who ASCAP named the Songwriter of the Century a couple years ago. So it's a very kind of under-the-radar thing, but literally it's three of the guys from in the country music world that have written some of the biggest hits that are out there playing together in the Rhythm Emporium, which is the size of a living room. Yeah. So a really interesting opportunity to see those guys up close.
So give us one big name everyone should catch.
The big names, obviously, I tell you what, I like Lake Street Dive a lot. They're going to be on Thursday on the Gentilly stage. A lot of harmonies. Just a different take on a pop band. It's like an acoustic band, but their big thing is acoustic harmonies. And look, a lot of people hate on the Eagles. I wrote an article, it'll be in a Friday paper, where I expressed my love for the Eagles. And it's like, there's a reason the Eagles' Greatest Hits is one of the biggest selling albums of all time. It's because it's perfect. It's great, and you've heard the songs a zillion times, but when you step back and really listen, like, oh yeah, these
That'd
guys
be
can
your
write
one must-see act this week.
Look, I don't know if there's one. I hate to pick one.
I know, it's like picking your favorite child.
Yeah. There's a million. But, I'm curious to see Teddy Swims, what he does out there, and I'd love to see him sing a song with Trombone Shorty after his set. That'd be a lot of fun if that happens.
So talk to us about after dark shows. What do you recommend, and how do you approach those?
Personally, I approach them from home in my bedroom, because after I go out all day at the festival and then finish writing the next day's column at 8:30, I want to go home and take a shower and go to sleep.
Wish them well, but
I hope for the best, and I hope
it's
they
pretty
do
exciting.
well.
The music doesn't stop.
No, it's bananas. The first weekend, I wrote a summation of the nighttime highlights. It was 2,000 words, which for us at the newspaper now, that constitutes a novel. Like, we don't write articles. I could have written 3,000 words. There's so much music jammed in. I'll have the sequel to that in this Thursday's Lang Up section, so you can check it out, and that'll be, use that as your guide. Because there's dozens and dozens of shows. Some of them starting at 2 a.m., which is,
Yeah.
Once upon a time I would have gone to, but I don't.
To me, it's why New Orleans needs to be considered the live music capital of the world. It doesn't stop.
You're right, and I think you can make that case any day of the year, but these 2 weeks during Jazz Fest, there's no question.
Yeah.
It's bananas how much music is going on.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back too when we do the NOLA by NOLA again, and you've got so many other. Music is so part of our festival scene now. Good food, good music, good festival.
Yeah, and Jazz Fest, is unlike any other major festival in the world in that 80+% of the artists are indigenous to New Orleans or South Louisiana. Yeah. No other major festival has that much quote unquote local talent on the bill. So that's what gives this festival its personality and makes it special.
Well, you've been covering this for such a long time. What do you think makes Jazz Festival so special as far as coverage and comparing it to other festivals?
Yeah, I mean, this is my 30th year at the Times-Picayune, and before that I covered it for 5 years at Offbeat. So I've covered, 35 Jazz Fests at this point. And really, the thing that I just said, I mean, it is so local at its core, Every act on just about every stage up until like that final headlining slot, is local. But not only that, this festival has adapted over the years to the norms of what a contemporary music festival is. It's added the VIP seating, it's added sponsorships, added, video screens and all that. But at its core, it's still recognizable as the same festival it was 30 years ago. The food booths are all in the same place. The stages are basically in the same place. You can go out there.
It's like going home almost.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it is. You can go there and it still feels like Jazz Fest, even though it has, like I said, changed a little bit with the times. It's still Jazz Fest at its core. It's still New Orleans at its core.
Quint Davis is a master at it.
He, I mean, it's great. I mean, everybody thinks he actually founded it, but I mean, it was founded by George Wein, the same guy that started the Newport Jazz and Folk Festival. He brought Quint in when Quint was just a Tulane student looking for a purpose in life who loved a lot of music. And Quint's been the guy, who's shaped that thing ever since.
So tell us where we can find your coverage and check out your own podcast.
Every day of the festival, I'll be writing on NOLA.com. My wrap-up of every day is in the next day's Times-Picayune. And then, I've, interviewed a lot of the folks that are playing at the festival on my show on WLAE, which airs on Thursdays and Sundays. And then it also airs on WWNO Radio 89.9 on Monday at lunchtime and Tuesday night.
Great.
So lots of musicians. We get to talk and spend 25 minutes telling stories.
That's
and
fantastic. And we deeply appreciate the depth that you take us into all the time.
It's
always great catching up with you, Keith.
Mark, always a pleasure, man.
Be sure to follow his coverage and check out his podcast for everything happening in and around Jazz Fest. Hey, y'all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications. Please follow us. We've got new shows each and every week. And a very, very special thanks to all of our sponsors who are making this possible. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.